Well, bless your heart for coming back. You know Granny always saves a seat for you right here on that creaky old stool by the fire. I've steeped some blackberry tea tonight, a little tart, a little sweet, just like this story. Now, sugar, this one ain't just spooky, it's personal. It's about a time in my life when things were really tough and then got worse in a way I still can't rightly explain. You see, this was right after I moved to Florida. Newly divorced, starting over, trying to keep my head held high and my boy steady on his feet. My son Rand and I were staying with my cousin at first, God bless her, but I didn't want to wear out my welcome. She never said a word, but I could feel it. You know how you feel when a space ain't yours to stay in too long? So when I saw a cute little bungalow just across the street for rent, I jumped on it. It looked perfect, just big enough for the two of us. Bright porch, white shutters, flowers out front. But sugar, sometimes pretty things hide the worst roots. We moved in that weekend, just me and Rand. Rand was 13 at the time, tall as a grown man. Strong, athletic, smart as a whip. So smart, he tested out of 6th and 7th grades altogether. And let me tell you, my boy, he had manners. Always respectful, always thoughtful. Never once raised his voice to me. But in that house, he changed. At first it was little things. He just seemed off, snappish, cold. I chalked it up to hormones or the stress of moving, but it got worse. He'd argue, slam doors, grit his teeth at me like I was a stranger. I remember one night he looked at me like he didn't even recognize who I was, like I was the enemy. And sugar, that broke my heart. Now that house, it had a feel to it. At first I thought it was just old bones settling, but we started hearing things. Doors that opened on their own, cold spots that lingered in the corners, whispers late at night when the air was still. Then I found out. The man who had lived here before us died of a heart attack right here in that house. I didn't think much of it until one night everything came to a head. Rand's grades had dropped, and I do mean dropped, from straight A's to D's and F's. Didn't make a lick of sense. We sat at the kitchen table, paper spread out. I asked him what was going on. He didn't answer, just stared right through me. Then, out of nowhere, he snapped, raised his voice, got up from his chair so fast it scraped across the floor. He stood over me, eyes wide, voice low and angry, and said something I'll never forget. You don't control me. Don't you dare talk to me like that. My sweet boy, my respectful, quiet, thoughtful son. He got up in my face and threatened me. Now, I ain't one to back down from anybody, certainly not my own child. But in that moment, it wasn't Rand. I knew it wasn't him. So I did the only thing I could. I reached out, put my hand on his chest, and said, You need to breathe, baby. He froze, then he spoke. Tears rolled down his cheeks, his shoulders shook. And he said, Mama, I'm sorry, that wasn't me. He's in the corner laughing. He made me do that. I turned slowly, and in the far corner of the kitchen, where the shadows were thickest, it felt like someone was there, smiling, laughing. We never saw him, not clearly, but his presence filled that room like a cold fog. I knew right then we weren't welcome, not by the house, not by what lingered there. We moved out a week later, didn't even stay to finish the lease. Packed our things and left behind that pretty porch, those shutters, that lie of a cute little bungalow. Some houses don't like new people. Some ghosts don't like to share. That's all for tonight, my dear. Granny's got more stories cooking, so don't forget to come back next week. But until then, if your child suddenly ain't acting like themselves, don't be so sure it's just teenage angst. It might be something else. Watching, laughing, and waiting in the corner.